Facebook Live for the week. If you're new to Movement Lesson or you're doing it, I say it all the time, I'm a very visual person. I need to see movement, but you know what? Any professional that you're dealing with should see movement. It is very important that you need hip x-rays, MRIs, etc. that are required for the health of your child. That is very important, but at the same time, I can't stress enough that if you think that someone's looking at a file of your child and they're gonna know how your child is now organizing that information, I don't care if it's rare genetics, brain trauma, birth trauma, whichever we're looking at, right? Environmental traumas, a child could have been in an accident. To look at a child based off of a file, basis off of movement. That's why, like again, like SPML, if some people are doing that, you know, Dr. Ingvi and Dr. Nuzzo, they want to see a video of your child moving, right? That's how they assess where they're going to go in. The professionals need that. Anybody that can say, and again, even I watch the comments very closely that, oh, my child's not rolling over. And someone will politely say, just prop them on their tummy and so forth. That might work, let's say, for 60% of babies, right? But the reason you're here, because there's always that something else that's going on, right? Or something that might be going on. First of all, it might be medical. I'm the first person to refer out. I'm not a doctor. I'm great at movement. I can't take out your appendix. You know, there are times where you need that professional. At the same time, like we're going to be talking about Ulasi's daughter, I don't feel she's had a very thorough or good visual diagnostic, right? So the vision is extremely affecting her movements. I need to know, are we dealing with optic nerve? Are we dealing with retinopathy? Are we dealing with just acuity issues, meaning that the power and the strength of the eyes? If there's astigmatism, astigmatism, again, could be severe enough. I mean, I have a girlfriend, you put on her glasses and her eyes are like this, and you take off her glasses and she's like this. The astigmatism is just that engaged in her eye that she needs help, which are glasses. Now, once I know what the visual diagnostic is, like you've been watching this one little girl that's been here for the last 2 weeks, and she'll be here till February, so you can see her progressions, Maya. But again, she's had her Dr. Cassidy yesterday. People that come here see my ophthalmologist, Dr. Cassidy. And so now I know where she is visually. So once I have that information, okay, now we have a program, and that's what we're going to go off of. Again, if you have laryngomalacia, I have a little baby I'm working right now, and they're saying torticollis. I disagree. I've got paradoxal breathing. I've got the ribs flaring out. The dad had cleft palate issues, midline issues. There's concerns for the baby. So I was specifically like, we cannot straighten that baby's head because I think it's more for breathing. And that's what's opening up the chest. If we bring the head straight, which I know is what people are looking for, is for that visual, you know, that affirmation, like they're looking at me or they look okay. But again, if there is a medical situation going on, like my son had a mouthless influenza, I couldn't put him on a plane. The pressure just would have blown out his sinuses and his eardrums. Again, rare events, these things do happen. We have to, that's why I'm redoing my 7 essentials. The first thing I always say with Movement Lesson is you have to stabilize the system. What does that mean? I can be way over here and like this, right? And again, is my system stable because I have good balance? Okay, yeah, maybe. But a lot of you might be like, I can't do this and talk, you know, I need to know I'm stable. It might be as simple like that, right? That your system doesn't know movement in that area. And you would feel more comfortable, stable. I used to be I was a bedding and showroom designer. I did the Oprah Angel Network bed in my past life. I can climb a ladder and paint and do that. I mean, I've been all over the place. I'm like a goat. These kind of skills are there. Most people can't handle a two-rung ladder, much less up an 18-footer. Heights don't bother me, and I can do all of that. And again, I can have conversations up there just as much as down there. Most people, once they get past eye level, whoa, okay, let me settle it. If I was shaking you on a ladder, you're not going to learn Russian. Really no difference in a child that's going into CP and they're not stable, and that's another little girl we're going to be talking about today. So please start looking at the videos. Don't look for external movements, guys. Look to see the body is processing the movement, and the body includes the brain. I think a lot of people think that, again, because you have rare genetics or a brain trauma, that's it. You know, life's written in stone. I'm telling you right now, it's not. I'm not saying this to get your hopes up. I'm saying this because there's so much that we don't understand. Most people look at the brain directing the body, but the body can only do what it knows how to do. When you offer it new possibilities, and that's what movement is. When do you panic? When you don't have a solution to a problem. When is a child going to panic? When they don't have the solution to a problem, which is movement. The more movement you offer, the more solutions you have to the problems, right? You know, if I have a car accident here, you know, the intelligent brain kicks in, well, I can go over onto 99th, or I can go to 91st, I don't hit Thunderbird. You know, that's where the logic comes in, right? But if you only know one way how to get to my clinic, then you can't get out, you know what I mean? Because the road's blocked, and that's not there. Start thinking of possibilities. It's the number one thing my son has taught me, to look for everyone for possibilities, not for limitations, right? I have limitations if you look at it that way. Betsy has limitations. We all have limitations. Possibilities can be endless when you start looking at it that way, right? But the limits can be very solid, and again, change movement and you can change. So with that, I'm going to try this a little bit different. So we've got a little girl, or boy, I'm sorry. See, as you can see, I always get the butt. So Kalinda has a 9-week-old. Now again, most people are assuming because the weight of the diapers are impeding movement. Yes, that could be a possibility, but Kalinda is right. The baby's head is too heavy, right? Again, I actually just did a post on it, on the cord wrapped around the baby's neck. So I'm going to tag you up on that. When the cord can be wrapped, and people go, oh, it was no big deal, we caught it and we let it go. The first developmental movements milestone, right? And this is going to be in my reflex book in the spring, I hope. When the baby is supposed to be coming out of the vaginal canal, the parietal bones. Do I have my baby head? Do I have my baby head? Oh, okay. I can use this guy. It's not a baby, but it works. The parietal bones, your first 2 bones here. So when a baby's coming out through the womb, the mother's pubic bone, the inside, hits the occiput, and the baby spins out. These, sort of like a ladybug's wings coming off, the parietal bones is your first developmental movement pattern, and they will bring the baby out. It adds the extension into the spine. If that mechanism, just like a champagne cork taking off, there's a lot of power there, you know, and you can look at a slow-mo and an MRI. This is what I teach in my trainings. And this is where, again, that movement, and that's, again, later on you see a baby bounce. Where you have the cord wrapped around the neck, it's going to interrupt that process, and you get a ricochet. So now the baby knows more this kind of movements versus that extension. You know that little turtle that comes out, that kind of movement, and that's what you're looking for. So I would look at the newborn assessment. A lot of the kiddos here, we have spine issues too. Please, I don't care if your baby's 60 years old. The newborn assessment course is free. It will take you through the beginnings of the movement lesson touch and what to look for in your child's foundational movements. And then I have the baby videos that need to be done, but there are some head videos within that baby video and spine, and that's what I would concentrate on for right in the beginning. The tummy time course, I'll be working over Christmas, is due out, I think, first week in January, if not second. Giardina, okay? Now here's a perfect example of, and there's a couple of these munchkins. Let me just go through it quickly. Giardina, Nicole, Megan, Elizabeth, and a little bit of Maggie, and definitely Ulysses. So all of these munchkins have spine issues, okay? I really have a very good course on spine and low tone. It says for SMA. the bones of the course are there. It is a really good course. Please, again, don't look at it. This is a problem with movement lesson. You're going to say, well, my kid's not low tone. I didn't say it was, but the bones of the course are there. I'd actually do the breathing course, which is a free course. Again, your good foundational core. Again, you don't have issues with breathing, yeah, but that chest isn't working the way it needs to. When the baby is again first born, every little vertebrae has these individual movements. This is why when you touch a baby, they kind of touch you back, right? They're like snakes, and that's where they start working, right? That power, that force, first of all, what they don't have in the womb, they now have out in the atmosphere and space, is each bone needs to move independently, and then the bones start to learn how to move together, but more so as a counter versus these random little movements. So when a child's high tone or low tone, or it's interrupted, it could even be a swaddle where that movement of the spine takes place. So then, if you're looking at a baby on their belly, right, when they're doing tummy time, what should be happening too is these individuals, now imagine there's a force here, and like if I'm digging into sand, these profiles, now if I want to come to the side, my spine pushes to the side, right? That's what brings my head up. It pushes. It's pushing actually against gravity, which is about 14.7 pounds of PSI. We don't think about gravity, but if you watch an astronaut come back to Earth, they really think that, because gravity to them is just like holy Toledo. Well, that's what happens to a newborn baby, right? And this is where, again, to really understand the foundations of movement, my new book, You Can't Get to Mars Without Me, is described all the scientific principles, 21 new principles, theories, and gravity on how living beings organize against that force of gravity. So what is happening here, okay, is the spine is not rotating or twisting, right? There's a unit right here about the spine crossing midline. Again, I have tons of videos. I have that spine course, which is, it's $10. It's a wonderful little course, but you're looking for crawling and you're looking for all of that. And so is, again, Nicole, looking for crawling. But that spine is not crossing midline. So what that looks like, I'm here, right? If my spine can't cross midline, this is where the legs start going independent, or I get that inchworm, right? But if I was here, if I go to see how my spine has to cross midline for my leg to even think about coming up. But I'm not trying to lift my leg. This is where you get the heavy head, right? I'm here, I'm independent. I just had this on a Zoom today. There's no difference. If I'm here, I have balance, I can bring my leg up, I can put it here, I can cross it, I can do all these kind of movements, right? Because my leg now is independent. Because again, my spine and all of that. And so that's where you want to work on that spine crossing midline for you and also for Nicole, right? And that's where you want to do that with the spine course. You'll see a similar situation with Megan. Megan, I know you have a rare genetics. I disagree with the CVI. I'm not saying you don't have a processing disorder. I'm very concerned. You're seeing the left eye in particular lag behind. My question is there isn't astigmatism in there involved? I would actually recommend a patching because the eyes are not working in a binocular fashion, meaning they're not working together. I have a really good course called Vision in Your Child. It's really understanding the foundations of the vision, including up to CVI and delayed visual maturations. But really what's going on, you have directionality, right? But especially going through the left eye wants to come in and then it goes off. And you can see it on the video that you sent. And so you want to bring that together, and then you want to add the vision with the spine. I have a really good course on head and vision, and I would start with that first because I think you really need to strengthen the visual qualities. That's where I would say more delayed visual maturation, because of the age and just that it's more sporadic vision than following. and that's where you're there. But really, CBI is the last thing you're going to want to work with. You'll stay with 1 or 2 toys, that kind of aspect of CBI. But I would actually look at the doctor's report again. And if you're not sure, post it up. But that should have been examined for, definitely there's a decent astigmatism in there. I would suspect in the left eye, and then also I would probably say that there'd be very little convergence. And because of the lack of convergence, and I'll post up the video, and if I forget, guys, I mean well, but like I drop and I run till, I work till 6 tonight. I have a really good video, and it's public out on YouTube, but I'll tag it up on vision and rolling over. And that's where you're having problems with the development area, and it's sort of being blamed on the genetics, but the vision is not synchronizing to the spine, and that's where you need to work with to just have more efficiency. And Elizabeth, I think we talked about it. I did 2 lives today, so I'm a little bit thrown off of where I am. But again, I can't stress enough too is you really have to go back into the rolling over course. Please don't work on walking when your child really hasn't rolled over. For any of you looking for an upper level movement, look at my rolling over video. I'm going to put it in here in its comments. But if that hasn't been successful, I really would go back and work on that rolling over course just to have a better foundation on the movements. Maggie, you're doing great. You really are doing great. Just add in those 2. You might have to do it when you're sleeping. Just some of the head. The head is still a bit heavy, where you're seeing the head bringing that roll over versus that lower spine. And I'd work on just the head to spine ratio. One of the things you can be working with is, again, as a child's going into rolling over, and those videos are there in the free infant videos of just the head to spine ratio, that it's more here versus the head lagging just that little bit behind, and creating just that dominance in the movement. You Lassie, same comments with the spine. The spine is definitely not crossing midline, right? I would like to get hip x-rays done as well, but the eyes are not working together. What you're seeing again is directionality, and I'm sure that ophthalmologist said the eyes are fine. I'd like to see the script, because what it is when the eyes are not working together, again, you're looking, see how my left eye comes over? See how my right eye comes over? What you're getting more at, and Connie, if you're watching, same thing, is more, see how my left eye is doing it, or my right eye is doing it? But my left eye is not coming over. So the difference, this is typical vision. I counter with my pelvis, and then where it's the right and the left. You see that too, Megan, right? That kind of movement. And you all can do it. Look at something normally, left, right. Really swing those hips so you can feel it, because this is what a baby would be doing. Versus, and just drop that eye back, and then try and catch what you were looking at. So you notice that there's a fall, and then you have to see. This, I never lose the sight. And that's what you want to strengthen. And patching is probably the best way to do it, and the patching program would be the best way. Nicole, I would add in those comments about the vision. You'll see that in sitting. She should not be in sitting where she's trying to catch her balance. And as you can see, she's a very weak peripheral vision. The vision is like here. Again, you get directionality, but you're not getting the eyes crossing over that midline. If you haven't been, any of you, if I mentioned with the vision and you haven't been with an ophthalmologist, please, because there's many different reasons. I just have a munchkin here now, 5.5 on this eye, 3.5. So what does that mean? This eye sees to about here, and the other eye can see to about here. The eyes are not going to ever match up. So what he has to do is, if he wants to see far, he literally patches this eye with his nose so he can see far. And that's where some people go, oh, my child doesn't have head control. This is where I was talking about in the beginning. When you don't know how to evaluate a video properly, you'll sit there and want to do this, where really he's doing this to focus, right? Versus because he can't use both eyes. What was very interesting about him is we just did a lot of palette work, and he said it's the first time he feels he can use his eyes together, which was really neat. That being said, for those of you that are celebrating Christmas, we shut down the office next week. I will be around. You know me. We're all physically not in the office. We are going to mandate our emails here and there, but please, it is the holidays. I'm actually in the studio Monday recording my aspect of the book. My son Gordon is actually doing most of the recordings. It's his birthday today. He's 20. And then we are going into, I'll be doing 2 chapters, the prologue and the ending chapter. I just didn't have about 22 hours to spare doing the Audible book, but it will be up in Audible. I'm told as soon as we get the file, like it can happen that quick. So I'm counting on January to be up in Audible with that. The book will be out. I better have it in my hands by Christmas, but I have a feeling it'll be right when we get back the week after Christmas. The first print runs here. People are pre-ordering, so there's that. So we're always busy here, but we're taking the week off. So that being said, get ready for the new year and enjoy your holidays, however you celebrate. Enjoy your family, but please know this is probably the best place you can come for support for your family. The courses for 21 are increasing. If you have any ideas for new courses, by all means, post them up. You know, we love your comments. We love what you need. As you can see, we're getting a lot more babies here. My oldest baby is 95 years old. So if you need help with movement, just like I just covered yesterday on how your uterus moves or can affect your movements after childbirth, you know, you never know what I'm going to come up with, but I can cover anything. If you've got a baseball player or a football player, tag them up, you know, let's go at it. I'd love to do, I haven't done a sports review in a while, but again, there's units up here, upper right-hand corner, all the classes you need. And then we're also thinking about having some sort of like a sign up next year. That's what we're working on, where you get the video of the day. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. If you celebrate, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I hope your Hanukkah's been going well, and all of that, Kwanzaa. And I will see you guys. Like I said, I'll probably pop in and do a live next week or something like that if you need. But I'll definitely be commenting. But we'll see you almost in the new year.